What's going on, guys? Belair here. Back from a little bit of a reprieve. Took a trip to Austin, Tejas. It was a good time. Ate some barbecue, had some tacos, but we're back and we have a week to get ready for the Esports World Cup, which is coming up very soon. We have 16 of the best teams from around the world who are going to be participating. And we have even more sponsors. We have 17 sponsors, including Axe and Doritos and Kit Kat. So, I'm excited. Some of these I don't even know what they are. What is Clear Mint? Let's do a little digging, why don't we? Oh, of course, of course. This is just a rebrand of something we have in the States, but the name is escaping me right now. But what we're going to do today is a tier list of all the players who will be competing just to get you guys razzed, get a little excited for the competition that's coming up, because we got some good stuff ahead of us. Shout out before we even get going into this for the people who have been putting out content during this extended delay in between RLCS action. We had Hootie was doing his 2v2 tournament. Johnny Boy has been showcasing some of the world's teams in some 2v2 videos. Fear just had his Road to 100K 1v1, and Shift SSL. The playoff is on pause, but that has really got me through some of these. So let's just go ahead and get into this. I'm sure I'm going to ramble and it's going to take a lot longer than I would anticipate. We got all quick math. Nope, I'm going to back out. Math isn't my strong suit. 16 times 3? We'll figure it out eventually. All of our players here. And first things first, let's go through the categories. So at the bottom, I'm unfamiliar with your game. That's where players such as Snoozy from this team down here, Ganassi Ballers, him, Cams, and Guns are all gonna go. So let's just go ahead and get them out of the way. There is Cams there, who's previously played on some teams that you might be familiar with. Like I think he was on the Orlando Pirates team for a little bit there. Then we're gonna move Guns into this category as well. Sorry, fellas. I am unfamiliar with your game, so that's category you are going to go into. Before we put people into our other ones here, from the top, must-watch TV. Going to try and put a reasonable amount of people in there who really are the ones who get me over to my desktop to watch some Rocket League. We have
Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
exciting and our other category here that we're going to be getting into. So let's go ahead and get somebody off of the board. Let's get this last car out of the way here, which is Nas, formerly of M80. He's going to be taking the place of Beast Mode for this tournament, which is disappointing, but I would say all things considered, exciting. We know how good Beast Mode is. We know how good G2 are. So I think being able to see what this team looks like with NAS is not only an opportunity for us to see something new and a different dimension to this North American powerhouse, but also we're going to get to see NAS showcase his abilities. So where is NAS going to go? I'm going to put NAS in the exciting category, just because NAS continues to do stuff that surprises me every single time I watch. He is dynamic on the ball. He is pretty good at getting his teammates involved. I think he's a gifted striker, but still leaves stuff to be desired. Still young too, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself by putting NAS up into the big boy categories here when we have some other ones who might be floating around. What about putting somebody up into the must-watch TV category? I have somebody in mind. Let's see if I can find them betwixt all the options that we have listed. I pulled all of these from Shift, and it seems like Shift, like there's some of these, like Mawson here is like an easy one to see, or Kaka, or Fever, but some of these are like, this is Hoxer's photo? Like, what are we even doing here? I can barely even see. And then the Chicago photo is just the photo of Hoxer, but slightly to the right. I don't understand why they choose some of these images that they do. It's very confusing. Here is Yan. We'll put him up into the must-watch TV category. Do I need to say more? I still think that Yan is, if I had to choose one player to watch on the ball, it's Yan. Um, Sometimes he can get a little lost within the flow of a game, and a big mistake here or there can cost his team. Sometimes he gets a little overzealous, and you remember when Donovan Mitchell was just like, "Don't worry, guys, I got this." When he was part of the Utah Jazz, and his "Don't worry, guys, I got this" meant that he was going to just take every single shot, and it ended up hurting his team because nobody else was doing anything. Yan can kind of do that sometimes. He can get a little hero bally, but that doesn't mean that he is not um, one of the few players in the world who draw me to the screen at the level that he does. Um, let's go ahead and put Radosin into the exciting category. I think these
Yeah.
next couple of tournaments are going to be really big for Radosin. We know that Zen re-signed his contract. We know that Alpha has an extension for a couple of years. Radosin's contract ends 2025, if I'm not mistaken. So if this tournament, which is not the big boy, but if this one and the World Championship go sideways, he seems like the obvious decision that Vitality could try and reconsider. Of course, we have a lot of Rocket League before we see what happens, but all I'm saying is I'm excited to see Radosin because these are some, excuse me, some important tournaments for him. I almost feel like I need to add another category here, but we'll get there when we get there. Let's go ahead and put somebody into this. Look, I'm not going to wake up in the morning and sprint over to my desk to watch you play or anything, but I'm still proud of you. Let's put some people in that category. Who's the first one who is going to be dropped in? What about Maxu? Um, I really like Maxu. One of the better players that APAC has to offer. I feel like he has definitely grown over the course of his career. In the first couple that he was on the main stage, he kind of had the same deal that some of the younger OCE players have dealt with, where the moment just gets a little big for them, and it ends up kind of biting them in the rear end, as it were. And Maxu's definitely fallen victim to that a couple of times in recent tournaments, where it just seems like he can kind of um, you know get a little bit off his skis, but still always like watching some Maxu ball. So let's put him there. What about Hunter? Where's Hunter gonna go, guys? I'm gonna put Hunter in the exciting category, believe it or not. I put out a video on Hunter after the London Major, and I walked away super impressed. I felt like in the first iteration, he didn't really get his teammates involved that much, and um, it seemed like it was just one of those situations where it's like, okay, cool, a new young prospect who just is gonna try and like get his as it were. But this time around, I felt like he was a very willing passer. He seemed like he really became a an anchor for that team, a veteran presence, and that's growth that we like to see, especially from a region who is still looking to push the envelope and try and make some top eights and whatnot. Okay, next, let's stick with his teammate just for this event, Joria's. We're definitely going to need to add another category in here somewhere. But for now, I'm also going to put Joria's in the exciting category just because he's going to be playing with this Chiefs lineup. It's going to be him. Um, I never get his name right, and I've been told how to say it by several individuals in YouTube videos of the past. But Kaka is just not, that can't be how you say it. But he's going to be teaming with Hunter and our nameless OCE player here. So yeah, Jory's coming over just for this tournament. Pretty exciting to see. It's going to be cool to see how someone like him either elevates or keeps that region the same. Our OCE just at a talent deficit, and somebody like Jorius is going to push these players to a point we haven't seen them at before? Or is it just going to be kind of more of what we've expected from OCE? All right, Um, can we just like add a category? I don't want to like totally ruin this whole thing. So maybe we end up just sticking with this because like I don't want to like is there like an add category? I don't really know. And if I click one of these, like what is this gonna do? I don't want to like ruin this. No, that's not what I want. What if I click here? I can add a row below. Is that gonna delete anything that I've done? Okay, that seems like it worked. And then let's change the color to like blue. That sounds good. Um, and then maybe they'll go like here. Um, we'll just call it exciting one exclamation point instead of three. And then do we want to re-rack any of these? Let's put Hunter in the exciting category. Who is somebody who is a must watch TV? I have a couple of people in mind, and I'm trying to scour the ranks here to see if I can figure out who I want to put there. What about Rawas? Let's put Rawas in the oh my god, he on X Games mode category. You know what? He's must watch TV. Defensive stopper, but so much more than that. I feel like it's kind of one of those things where we talk about an aspect of a player so much that kind of becomes all that they are. Kind of like how Mist was like he's so good defensively. Mist is actually a pretty good striker as well. Always like high shooting percentage on low volume and things like that. Great placement in the box. But I think Rawas is similar, where I think there's a real possibility where Rawas could potentially walk away from the end of the season as like one of, if not the knock on wood best player in the world. That Falcons team is so gifted, and TRK is still, I think, the like most consistent player. Like when you show up, you know what you're getting from TRK. But Roas has the ability to really elevate his game and be the best player in the world on any given day. So he's must watch TV for me. That whole Falcons team, it's just a shame that they play within the MENA region because they just crush everybody. It's kind of like not really fun to watch because they're like messing around on like fun cars. Like they're not even always like taking it seriously. I went in and checked on like one of the Saudi E-leagues or something one time. One of them was on like a Grog or like a Merc, and one of them was on the like Mustang. I was like, okay, so clearly we're just kind of having fun here, which is good to see. But they run that region, so um, takes a bit away from it. Um, what about Itachi? Where's Itachi gonna go? I'm gonna put him in the X Games category. I love Itachi. He's so exciting. Um, Not always the flashiest player in the world. Probably one of the most underrated top players that we have. If you just look at the body of work, Itachi has been on winning teams in different iterations at the tip top of Europe for several seasons. And there have been certain splits where he is the top goal scorer for Carmine Corps. Last season, I think their winter, he was the top scorer and the top um, shots per game. So he has that kind of mechanical muscle that he can flex when needed. But really, he is an on the ball menace who makes it very difficult for defenses to break out. And also, he is a great midfield player who is really good at facilitating to his teammates. And also, I think he's just kind of a calming force. If you're on a land stage, there's few players that I would rather have as kind of the on the pitch coach than Itachi. I think he is just that good. All right, where are we going to go next? I actually might cheat a little bit. I am familiar with their games, but I'm also not. That's Snowy and Sweaty. I've seen them play, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I feel like if I'm putting them anywhere, like I just, especially like Sweaty, like Snowy and To Die For have been playing together for quite a few seasons, and Sweaty's been around too. Like even on the last season's World Championship roster where he wasn't with these two, as I recall it. He's been around. I like have seen him play, but if you're asking me like hey, did you really lock into that like Sweaty Clarence gameplay? Like, hey, I know that they were like, fully swept by Vitality, but like, were you locked in? I wasn't. So I'm not going to put them here. I will put To Die For in the exciting category, though. Always fun to see a true SSA player who is able to um, contend for his region. I think a lot of people look at To Die For as kind of a bubble in a player if they were to go over and be an SSA. He's good. So I'm going to put him in the exciting category. If I'm tuning in, it's going to be on To Die For POV. All right. Let's put a couple people into this category and not talk about them too much because I don't want it to seem like I am just dunking on the people that I'm putting in this category. None of these are negative, as you can see, and that's because we shouldn't be negative about any of these players. Good for them for being able to represent our esport on the world stage. I'm excited for everybody who made it here, and you're all way better at Rocket League than I am. So kudos to you for being some of the best of the best. With that being said, let's put some people into this category that I am just excited for them to be here. I'm going to put Mawson in that category. I am going to put Kaka in that category. I'm going to put Torsos in that category. Let's just kind of flesh this one out a little bit here. I am going to put, gosh, who even are some of these? I can't, they're so small. They're so tiny. That's Seiko, I can tell. Let's put, I think ZPS is kind of in the exciting category just because I haven't seen him outside of North America yet. He's been rocking with this. What's the name of their team now? Across the Pond roster with Kevin and Sphinx. And so I'm excited to see what ZPS is doing. If you've never watched Rocket League and you just go look at like the stats, like it's unbelievable. ZPS is the best player in the world statistically, and it's not very close. He's just running that region since he came over. Who else can I put in there? Maybe that'll be it for now. And you know what? I'm gonna put Napo in that category too. It's just not for me. I guess he's exciting exclamation point. Way too heliocentric, not good at involving his teammates. Uh, awesome to watch, but um, it's kind of like he's kind of like James Harden, where it's like I respect you. You're very good at what you do. I can appreciate and agree with the fact that you're one of the best. I'm not going to be catching a lot of your games on League Pass. That's kind of how I feel about Nalpo. I would say I kind of feel similarly at this stage about a player like Chicago, although he might move up into this exciting category. We'll put him here for now, and let's take a pause there and add some people to the top because that's what we're here for. Who are the most exciting players? Well, one of the most exciting players is Juicy. I'm going to put him next to his teammate in the X Games mode category. I'm going to put Drali in that category as well. Have really loved what we've seen from the young Moroccan so far this season. Him and Nas both at this tournament is exciting alongside Itachi. Look at Morocco having three of the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so far. How cool is that? And maybe we'll go through and rearrange these categories once we get everybody on the board here. I'm going to take Chronic and put him in the uh, exciting category, but at the very front of it, can I do that? Why isn't it letting me? Maybe I need to move Hunter over here. There we go. Chronic's in a weird spot where he continues to amaze in these 2v2, 1v1 tournaments, and um, I just feel like Gen G are asking him to do something well outside of his wheelhouse with this roster, where First Killer has kind of slowly come into a situation where now he is very much the offensive fulcrum of this roster. And I did feel like over SSL, they looked best when they were kind of getting Chronic his touches. But I think when push comes to shove, That's just not what they're going to do. I think they really want Jack to be ahead of the ball, trying to get some redirects to kind of make the defense, be on their back foot, try and get some backside demos, be up ahead of the ball, taking boosts and things like that, and just kind of facilitating. And they want First Killer to be kind of the one who is taking and making a lot of the shots, especially in like just solo opportunity positions. And they asked Chronic to do a ton defensively for this team, which I just don't think is where he shines best. We talked about this in a video that we did with him maybe a month and change ago now. I just feel like he is in kind of a tough spot with what they ask. It reminds me of when AJ was on Phase with what was that roster with First Killer and Mist? Might not have been Mist. First Killer and it was Illusion at one point, but he was really like their defensive. Like if they were trying to stop a transition attack the other way, it was typically AJ who's on that back foot. Chronic can do it incredibly well, but sometimes he just gets into these funky spots where he doesn't have the momentum or the angle to make a play on the ball, and it just looks a little messy. And with what I have seen from this roster so far this season, I'm just going to put Chronic there because I don't think they put him in the position often enough to be in the categories above that. But with that being said, let's go ahead and do his teammates. First Killer is definitely a X Games mode category player, and I feel the exact same way about apparently Jack in a general sense. I thought Jack was a top five player at the end of last season. They are really not using him in the same way. He was the best version of the Naopo heliocentrism on that last Genji roster where he always had the ball, but either he was scoring, like give it to me and get out of my way, or he was dishing to his teammates after putting them into a great position. He was like LeBron James, like peak LeBron in transition last season. I know that I'm not comparing Jack to LeBron in a general sense, but just within kind of windows, I felt like Jack was a pretty unstoppable force offensively. We're going to put Brad in the exciting category. I'm a huge fan of Brad. Um, I think he brings a lot from a getting excited like aspect. Like seems like he's somebody who really fires up the rosters that he's on, and he really feeds off of that energy and momentum in a big way. And he can hit some big shots, but just it's one of those things where the toughest thing to be at the top of a sport like this is consistent. And we don't always get that consistent greatness from Brad that he can sometimes show in flashes. But hey, even showing it in flashes is enough for him to be one of my favorite players in the RLCS. If I made a top 10 list, Brad would definitely be, if not on that, very close. He'd be an honorable mention at least. But I'm going to put him in the exciting one exclamation point category. How long is this video so far? 24 minutes? All right, let's hustle. Who are we going to do next? I'm going to put Zen in the must-watch TV category. I know it's a hot take, guys. Let's move on. I am also going to put, who else can we put in the must-watch TV category? I'm going to put TRK up here. I am going to put, oh no, that's not even TRK. That's Lost. We're going to put Lost in the exciting category. We're going to put TRK in the must-watch TV category. Who else do we have here? Is that LJ? We're going to put LJ in the X Games mode category. Just awesome, awesome, awesome. A plus plus player on the offensive end. Makes me nervous defensively. And that's all we'll say there. I'm going to put Daniel in the must-watch TV category, especially for this event with no beast mode. I think that Daniel's just going to pop off. And Atomic deserves to be there as well, but I'll put him here just so we're not, totally going to bat for the North American region here. All right, who else do we have? Seiko. Gosh, where am I going to put Seiko? I'm going to put him in the X Games mode category. He is a sneaky assassin. You don't always see Seiko. He's not super vocal. He is actually very muted on the pitch, or excuse me, off the pitch. But on the pitch, he strikes the ball with so much power that it blows my mind. I cannot believe that it's like he plays with mods on sometimes, where he just strikes the ball at such an angle with such precision that he can just rip a shot from end to end and still have momentum on it. Incredible striker. Love watching his solo stuff. Anytime Gentlemates can put him in a position to score, I am going to clamor to see what he is able to do on the ball. I'm going to put Kevin in the exciting category. I'm going to put Sphinx in the exciting with many exclamation points category just because he's the next kind of young homegrown talent. And I think that he has more potential than Kevin to kind of, showcase his greatness. So there's the split there. I'm going to put Tho in the exciting category just because cool to see somebody who was a part of a duo in EU with Mike Boy for an incredibly long time break out. He goes to APAC. He's playing with Vert and Maxiu. And speaking of Vert, I'm going to put him in the exciting category as well. I'm a fan of Vert. But you know what? Just to not put everybody in the same category, let's put him here in the excited for you category. Who do we got left? This is Kaliers because I wrote a note in my notebook that says Kaliers is the one who's gaming, as opposed to his twin brother, who is not gaming. He's being interviewed right here. So we know for sure that this is Kaliers. We're gonna put Kaliers in the exciting category. SMW is gonna go in the proud of you category. Mata, I'm gonna put in the exciting one exclamation point, and I'm gonna bump him pretty heavily up here to be second in this group, alongside Chronic. We're gonna put Fever in the exciting category. Who even is that down there? I can't even see, so we'll have to circle back to how small some of these are. Oh, that's KV1. We're going to put KV1 in the exciting category with 3 exclamation points. Drafinio is also going to go in 3 exclamation points. Banana Head is going to go in exciting next to his OCE teammate. This is Hoxer. We'll put him here. Alpha 54 is going to go into the exciting with 3 exclamation points category. We're going to put Monkey Moon in the must watch TV, and Exotic is our last one. Guys, we got through this in quicker than 30 minutes. Unbelievable. We're going to put Exotic in the 3 exclamation points exciting because the thing with Exotic is he can sometimes be in this category of exciting where you kind of forget that he's there. But when the offense is really flowing, he can be in the X Games mode, if not the must watch TV category. And I'll just go ahead and say it. He could be even higher up the list sometimes when he really gets it going, but he doesn't always get it going. So for that reason, I'm putting him in the exciting with 3 exclamation points category. We're also going to move Alpha 54 up to the X Games mode. And what other adjustments are we going to make here? You know what? We've seen enough of them to move them up here. We're not just going to leave them down there. What are we doing? Do we want to reorganize these? I'm going to put who's like the most must watch TV for me. Honestly, I'm going to put Rawas number 1. Say what you will. That's where I am putting him. I'm going to put TRK third. And then we're going to put Daniel Monkey Moon. I think for the purposes of this tournament, that's good. That's accurate. Don't you think, guys? I didn't think about it that way. It's a good point. Let's see. In the X Games mode category, we are going to move Atomic to number 1. If it'll allow us to, we're then going to put, we'll keep Itachi juicy, and then we're going to put LJ, and then we're going to put Seiko actually ahead of LJ. Look at that. We're going to have the whole Gentlemates, the whole squad right here, all together, as they should be. LJ, Drolly, first killer, and then we're going to go Alpha, and then Jack. In the exciting category, we're going to go Drafinio deserves to be higher up here. So does KV1. So does Kalirs. But I am really excited for Nas. So I'm going to keep him as the leader. Radosin probably deserves to stay here too. Jorius probably gets to go to towards the end of this, although I might keep Exotic there for now, just because Jorius is like new and fresh on this roster, and I kind of know what we're going to get from Exotic. Drufo is probably going to stay there for what they ask him to do on that roster. I'm going to move Sphinx down right to the end of this category. We're going to put Lost below Drufo. Actually, we're going to switch that up. We're going to put Drufo behind Lost. KV1 probably about there. And then we're going to switch Kalirs and Radosin. Exciting category. This is feeling pretty good. But we are going to move Hoxer up this list a little bit. Chronic deserves to be there, I think. Going to move Brad up this list. And again, if I did this tomorrow or in an hour or after the event, I'm sure I would feel differently about this. But at 9:30 on this is kind of how I'm feeling in the moment. I'm gonna move Modded down a little bit here. I am really excited by Hunter, but am I that excited by him? I am excited to see Tho in this game, or in this event rather. ZPS I'm excited for just because it's new, so I'll put him there. Naopo is still a very fun watch. You can only be so low on him. Banana Head was really popping over the course of that last event. Fever is somebody who can never be at the bottom of a category. He's just too good. Hoxer has been kind of electric recently, especially in SSL. He's been showing his stuff. He's looking good on that Mach E. I feel pretty good about that. This category here for the proud of you. Very, very proud of Chicago. I hope that he continues to shine. Happy for Mawson. Really, really love to see him doing well. Shout out to Torsauce for continuing to hang around at a top level. SMW is buttery smooth, so we're going to move him up a little bit. And Vert is somebody who is exciting as well. And then I'm unfamiliar with these players' games, so I can't really move them around too much. But again, this is Cams, Snoozy, and Guns, who are representing the Noski. I'm going to guess it's Noski. It could be Nosi, actually. The Nosi Ballers. Nkosi, who knows? I'm definitely wrong. But that's where we're going to leave it, guys. What do you think? What are we right on? What are we wrong on? Excited to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for taking the time to check out today's content. This is definitely different than what we have normally been bringing to this channel. But the toughest thing to do is always to get things back on the rails once you've taken a little break. And the trip kept me away from creating for an extended period. So wanted to break the ice and get back on with something like this. Very excited to say that we finally hit the threshold of being able to apply to monetize the channel, which is super cool. Thank all of you for watching and supporting. I definitely don't think that I'm going to be able to quit my job or retire early based on the amount of money that these YouTube videos will bring at the start. But really, the money does not matter. Just being able to look back at where things were, 3 years ago when I started making YouTube videos. You can kind of get caught up in the day to day and not really get too animated or excited about milestones when you hit them. But when you take a step back and look at the totality of things, something like this is huge. So thank you guys for all of your support. and taking the time. And that is it for the intro. And by intro, I mean outro. Guys, thank you so much again for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. Good to be back on the YouTube grind. And until next time, guys, take it easy.